Hi everyone. I'm early again. I'm sorry. It is out of character. I recognize that. But here we are. I gotta get it in. Let me know if you're here. Say hi. If you're watching it on replay, say replay. I hope that you're having a wonderful weekend. These weekends go by some fast. These days are going by fast. Let's be real, right? We went through a doozy of a full moon, the super moon. I think it's the last super moon of 2025, but they are saying, a lot of the astrologers are saying that it has been the strongest super moon of 2025. So what does that mean? It means that one, you would be most likely having some sort of reaction to it, meaning like broken sleep, irritability, up and down emotions, clarity, solutions. It's kind of clearing away. And what they're showing is, or what I'm reading is, that it is to tie up the loose ends of the lessons that have come. Think where you were in January and February, right? It's these lessons that are being wrapped up. And so we are saying, and we have been saying, because we can feel, for me, everything I get by feeling, right? And so it feels lighter, feels brighter. It's pulling us forward. There's this excitement because the endings are coming in. Hi, everyone. Hello, hello. You are here, Paula. Hi, Tamara and Pam. And so you may have been really feeling the effects of the full moon from last week. I think the biggest disruption that I've been hearing is that, hey, Tracy, that the broken sleep, right? And irritability, I think irritability was up there as well. And so this week things are kind of grounding out a little bit more, which is really nice. We welcome that in. And like I said, the super moon was really wrapping up the lessons, the 2025 lessons. And this is where that release and that momentum for 2026 is coming in. Hi, everyone. Hi. I hope that you're having a lovely weekend. I have such a high vibration. Oh, listen, Pam, girl, me too. Cannot wait. Cannot wait. It's been a pleasure doing the breakdowns. I remember last year getting halfway through and being like, oh my God. Oh my God, Michelle, I have been so irritable. And it's funny because I was like working it out today because I'm sick of myself. And I have been really having, my way with the children's Halloween candy. And I think the sugar crashes. So we're done with that. I had fun with the sugar, but it's the withdrawals. It's like you're up and you're down, you're up and I can't live like that. So I'm hopeful for this week. Staying away from the sugar and working on grounding, because that was one of the, like, I kept feeling, I'm like, oh my God, I keep grounding and I keep being ungrounded, right? And so that's my focus, because I am sick of myself. I'm sick of myself. All right, so housekeeping, November 20th, online messages from Spirit over on my website, angelamaclellan.com. December 4th, Sydney. Oh, yes. Sydney, Nova Scotia, Messages from Spirit in person, December 4th. Windsor, Nova Scotia, in person for Messages from Spirit, December 12th. Yes, and that time change. And the fall doesn't usually bother me. And it hasn't really, I feel like, just in my own personal experience, because I was reflecting on that this week as well, is like when the kids were little, like it really messed up the household. But I felt like we've been pretty neutral with it for some, but this, oh my God. I was a mess. So yes, I was really like, it really, really messed me up this time around. I'm going to scream. Oh my God. Now the chippies. Oh yeah. Thanks, Paula. It was so nice being up there. All right. Let's get into this weekly guidance. Yeah, see? I just totally felt grounded. So this is really, that kind of ungrounded energy last week, I think, was on par. with all the changes that are happening, and really kind of welcoming this more focused type of energy. And it's interesting as well, because for me, when I'm like ungrounded, I feel very like staticky. Like I in my head, it feels like I am like fighting with a radio, trying to like concentrate above a radio, right? And so as soon as I went into this week's energy, it was like, whew. I was like, oh, that's nice. That feels so much better. We will take that. All right, so we do have the renewal card. Listen, if you are not already reflecting, kind of like these big questions. So again, remember the supermoon was bringing through a lot of closure to the lessons, the main lessons that we have been here to learn in 2025. If you look back on your January, February, and March, where you were, like, you know, it's crazy how fast we forget, but take time to go back into like your calendar and be like, what was on my plate? What was I worrying about? What was I juggling? Right? Or if you have a journal, look back to those first 3 months and kind of skim over, because that is what is coming into completion. Right? And so really this sense of release is coming in. The renewal, as we bring in endings and we get ready for new beginnings, reflecting to see how far you've come, to kind of recognize these lessons. And I think that this is where, you know, the humans by nature, we're so we're just such a mess. We're just so like, what's next? And that's like that ungrounded sense, right? So wanting to kind of bring ourselves down, wanting to create this stability within us. So much has changed and so much is forever changed. It is important that we go, okay, hang on. In the crazy of the world, right? Everything is happening. Everybody has an opinion about everything. Things aren't moving as fast as we want. Things aren't moving in the direction that we want. There's can be all of this kind of coming up, right? You are always the calm of your storm. And that is something that we need to protect fiercely. Because it's so easy for us to be whisked into somebody else's opinion or somebody else's stress or somebody else's whatever, right? And so we need to be our own calm. And that's really where this renewal card is coming in. Okay. We need to create that, because life is always going to life. Right? There's always going to be crazy things that happen. There's always going to be inconvenience. There's always going to be loss. There's always going to be blind sides. And so we need to create that foundation in ourselves. And it's not something that we are going to be perfect at, right? Like I said, you know, last week I kept on going. I need to ground myself. I'm so ungrounded, and you know, going for my phone. I'm like, put the phone away. Just stop. So it's not for me to criticize myself for being imperfect. It's to applaud myself for recognizing this isn't serving me. This isn't serving me. I might have to say it 20 times. This isn't serving me. Choose different. This isn't serving me. Choose different, right? So we don't want to look at it with a pessimistic lens. We want to go, okay, I'm fighting myself to give myself what it is that I need. Even though impulsively, I want to do this, I want to do that. My manic mind wants to scroll and wants to look this up and wants to do this and wants to do everything all at once, right? That's not serving me. It's not serving anyone, right? If I'm in that kind of ungrounded state, I'm not my best self. And I'm not my best partner. I'm not the best mother. I'm not the best medium. You know what I mean? And so recognizing it is where the power lays. We are always going to get pulled in that direction and get pulled in this direction. It is consistency is not perfection, right? We can't be consistently perfectly grounded. We can consistently be aware if we're grounded or not, and then adjust accordingly, right? And I think that this is something that's going to be very helpful, especially going into the holiday season. But again, leading into 2026, which is quicker paced, and that's why we are happy, because things are happening at a pace that we approve of, but it's still happening quickly, and we're still going to need to be grounded. We need to be clear. We need to be intentional, right? And so these are habits that are going to serve you now and also in the future, okay? So taking this reflection time, taking this quiet time to kind of bring it down. We can go, just bring it down. Because that's going to happen. And I think that we for this to be happening in this timeline as in November going into December, which is very high demand, high financial demand, high emotional demand, social demand, all of the things, right? Like there's just Decembers are complicated, and they're wonderful and they're beautiful, but they're complicated and they're layered, right? And so being able to get this practice replenished into our daily life is going to set us up for success moving into a holiday season where we tend to be a little bit ungrounded anyways, because there's extra demand on ourselves, right? And so it is really important that we do have this in our mindset right now. The renewal says reviewing the past with compassion. We never want to criticize ourselves. We are trained to, we have been conditioned to, but there's really no need, because we learn from our mistakes, right? We learn from our experiences. And so wanting to change the criticisms of, I shouldn't have did this, I should have, no. Well, what do we learn from that? What is that teaching you? What's this feeling giving you? You don't like this feeling? Guess you're not going to do that again, right? And so there's a purpose to everything. And leaning away from critical talk and moving into love talk is so important right now. It's so important right now because it is contagious and you see it everywhere, right? You're seeing it everywhere in the media with everything that's going on. We're seeing it in our private relationships. We're seeing it in, just this grumpy kind of discontentment. Well, I wouldn't do it that way, and that's not how I would do it. I'll look at them last minute as always, right? And so if you were paying attention to the daily cards the last 2 weeks, a lot of it is change the mindset, change the mindset, change the mindset. And you may not realize that is affecting you. Or you go and getting on with your sister and, venting about, oh, I don't like this and they did that, and right? All of that is going to then manifest in other parts of your life. Right? And so there is this need for us to kind of have reflection, go, what energy am I putting out there? Because listen, the law of attraction is always working, right? Which means that what you put your attention on is what comes to you. And so if you're putting your attention on everything that pisses you off, you are quite literally praying for more things to piss you off, right? Because you're attracting that. You're attracting that in. And so we do want to be mindful. We do need to shift gears. Because there is a lot that's going on that we don't like and we don't approve of, and it's not how we would do it. But you know what? That's not serving you. That's just bringing more of that into you, right? And so we do want to be a little bit mindful of what are the first words you're saying in the morning? Are you even waking up before you're reaching for the phone? Or are you like, ugh, it's morning. This day is going to be awful. You know what? It is. It is. If you wake up and be like, today's going to be a great day, it's going to be a great day, then you are attracting right from the get-go, right? And so we could start with gratitude as a really great vibration resetter, because we all have things to be grateful for, right? And I think there has been a habit, because life has been so hard, that we are now trained to look for the hard. But that's working against us. And so right now, and listen, that served us, because we were barely surviving. We were barely surviving. You know what I mean? And that was serving us, because then we felt like, oh, I have some control and I'm prepared and I'm ready for when this happens, right? But now that we're moving into this new energy, this new season, that is no longer serving you, which is why we need to shift gears. Right? We need to shift gears. And so being more purposeful with the energy that you're allowing in, but also the energy that you're creating that's attracting more into your life. And so Instead of focusing on all that we don't have, we're going to focus on all that we have, all that we love about our lives, that we love about our bodies and ourselves and our jobs and our homes, right? I think it's so important because we could go around and be like grumbling about that and grumbling about that, and all we see is all the bad. It's trained. That's training, right? We have been trained to look for the bad. Well, now we're going to choose to train our mind to look for the good again. Right? And we have, and you have, right? So we know that we can do it. And I think that's just going to be really purposeful. And I think it's really divinely timed that we do start to shift again. Because that's a hard way to live, isn't it? It's just a hard way to live. There's the success card. Success financially, success for family, success for those who you love, for connection, success for traditions. And so there's a lot that's coming together. It's going to look different, right? But there's this coming together. And we felt so separate and we felt so isolated for so long. We have to let our hearts open up, or it's going to be forever locked up, okay? And we don't want that. Be mindful of what you take on. This week can be it's going to be busy. And you know what? I literally just said to Ryan, I looked at my week ahead and I'm like, oh my God, finally, because it has been a blur since back to school. It has been the busiest, consistent 2 months ever. And I'm like, I just need to catch my breath. And these cards are saying otherwise. Hopefully this is for you and not me. No, but they're saying working too hard or too many hours, the need for balance. So we do need to prioritize balance, okay? And so if it can wait, let it wait, guys. If it can wait, there's going to be enough time. We don't have to do it all like yesterday. And I think that's important. There is an experience where we're going to, very interesting. There is an experience where you are going to have to think quickly on your feet. And that is why being grounded and starting your day centered is going to be very purposeful and helpful for you, because it's not throwing you off. You're rising to the challenge very quickly because you're already centered and aligned with yourself. And so taking a few moments in the start of your day to just breathe, to do some gratitudes before we reach for the phone. Maybe we want to put on a high vibrational meditation or meditation music or Christmas music, something that's going to lift up our vibes. A really wonderful day to start your day. Wonderful way to start your day. Okay. I think that's going to be very purposeful because this is going to move very quickly, but you are going to handle it very well. Okay. There is a little bit of pessimistic energy. There's a little bit of, I'm not ready. I'm not good enough. I can't do it. That's connected to learning. Okay. So learning comes in 3 ways for me. We have structured learning as in going to school or taking training. You have self-learning as in watching webinars, videos, or reading books. And then you have life learning through life experiences. This is a little bit structured and it is practical as well, which means that you're going to be living by example. And this is where this kind of spiral is, this highly emotional card really feels like we are spinning out. And so what can we do? We can take a hot minute. We can breathe. We can ground ourselves. We can challenge what we are saying. You can't do it. You're too old. Am I? Or maybe you're not smart enough. Is that true? No. Right? And so there's often when we kind of we're having these thoughts that are just rampaging within us. If we stop and go, okay, let me actually give it time, right? Is this true? No, it's not, right? And so it is important for you to kind of check yourself with that, okay? Because it says like you're lost in your own world, which means you're in your head too much. A lot of the times as well is the vulnerability that comes when we need to be more practical or we need to go out and do it. It's always best to do it imperfectly versus not doing it all because of fear, right? And so doing things that scare you is what builds confidence. And so the more things that you push yourself to do outside of your comfort zone, the more confident and more comfortable you become with it. Oh my God, the brain is a liar all the time, Lily. You're so right. And so we get to choose what we're going to believe or not, right? And a belief is just a statement that you repeat it enough until you now believe it's true, right? And so why not tell ourselves positive statements and believe them to be true, right? And I think that that's just a little bit of this kind of shaking off this old energy, this kind of murky energy, and we're more moving into why not me, let's do it, right? So the scarcity, although challenging, was protective because we were kind of cocooned in it, but now we are re-emerging, right? But the thing is that you are emerging as a new version of yourself because you have transitioned in the most deep and beautiful ways through all the struggles, right? And so you don't know what you are capable of because you haven't presented this version of yourself and participated in these activities or these new experiences. You're going to be shocked at how well you do. So when that doubtful voice, that ego voice that's telling you all these lies, tell it to shut up. We're not listening to it, okay? And that's exactly that. Okay, there's a sun card. It says a time of great joy and success, brilliant epiphanies that lead to magical opportunities, plans that work out perfectly, gratitude to the divine. What's interesting is that some of you are going to receive an interesting phone call. That's what it says. That's what they're saying. I'm like, well, what kind of interesting? Like bad, challenging, enraging? They're saying interesting. So it's kind of leaving you walking away from this information that you received with this kind of like, well, that was bizarre, wasn't it? And so that's just something that's going to be interesting coming in. I almost feel like, don't dissect it. There's just no need, okay? But there's very much this validation, and maybe that experience is reflecting how far you have come because, 5 years ago, 8 years ago, that would have sent you into a tailspin, right? And now you're just kind of like, weird, and off we go. Because the sun card is very much positive reassurance, leading you forward, time of great joy and success, brilliant epiphanies that lead to magical opportunities. So we are almost going from that overthinking, I can't do it, to everything is great, I can do anything, which is like amazing, which is very much that energy that we're going into in 2026, which is just going to be so welcomed. There is a decision that needs to be made. We are avoiding it. It feels like an obstacle. It feels like maybe a little bit between a rock and a hard place. Don't procrastinate. You already know what you need to do. Oftentimes when we know what we need to do, we just don't want to have to do it. We're either going to have to flex a boundary that makes us uncomfortable, hurt someone, disappoint someone, let someone down. That's usually why we procrastinate when we already know what we need to do. They're saying just rip the Band-Aid because that is coming into the completion, and there's the Magician card. Not only are you going to be happy that you did, because you're just prolonging it's just being prolonged, right? Listen, love winners. We're kind of like prolonging it, right? And so we do need to just kind of rip it, and then we're into this enlightenment is what the feeling comes in. There's this lightness that comes into it, which is just so needed. It feels so needed. Magic's alive in your life. What you need to be a success will manifest. If you believe it, you can do it. And by you choosing to lean into the discomfort of the hard thing is you telling yourself, I love you. And you're telling the universe, I'm ready. And so you have to remember that your actions is a language, and the universe is listening. And we may say all the right things, and we may, have the perfect wording or the perfect affirmations, but if your actions are showing otherwise or speaking other truths, that is what is always going to be seen first. So you want to be mindful of not only what you're saying. So remember, we're cleaning up our dialogues. We're cleaning up our mindsets. This may be a little bit of a push and pull because we have been really intertwined with the opposite of what we want, right? So not only are we doing that, but we're making sure that our actions are aligned with what it is that we want, right? And if we're wanting peace and contentment, but you're over there gossiping and telling other people's secrets and starting a little shit, that's not promoting any of that. You'll never have peace if you are doing the opposite. If you're wanting good things to happen to your life, but you're only fueling the fire of the negative and focusing and talking and being like a dog with a bone, and everybody who has ears is hearing about how awful your life is and how hard this is and how this person 5 years ago did you wrong, you're never going to live a positive, happy life. Because what are you focusing on? Right? And so we are the captain of our ships. We create our life experience. And if you're having a life experience that you do not like, does not feel good to you, ask yourself, what can I do? We can be in a season that just sucks, right? We can be in a hard season that just sucks, but you can choose to not kick yourself while you're down. You can choose to bring in some light. It may just be a crack, but it is a choice, right? And so we always have a choice to choose how we are going to move through an experience, a good or a challenging one. And I think us reminding us that, right? Because we have been feeling powerless. Because what we're trying to do, we're hitting, the brakes. And what we're trying to do, the world isn't aligned with. And we tried and we failed. And we're doing all the right things. And we're waiting for the lawyer to do what they need to do. Or we're waiting for the bank to get back to us. And everything is just prolonged, right? You have to do what you need to do, but also choose, okay, well, I can go into resistance and make this even harder on myself, or I can move into acceptance, not approval. Approval doesn't say, oh, this is great and I'm happy that this is happening. It is saying that I accept that this is happening and this is where I'm at right now. This too shall pass, right? I will get through this just like I got through everything else, because you have 100% success rate of getting through everything that life has thrown at you up to this point, right? And so remember, we're accepting it. We're not approving it. We're not saying we wanted all of that, but you made it through and here you are. And so it's choosing to see it in that way. Okay. And I think that it's really important that we remind ourselves that, because these weeks are going by super fast. And even myself, who loves this and speaks about this and works, and it's everything, I have even been feeling off and being like, oh my God, let's reel that in. Let's bring that in, right? And so it's not that we should be at a point that we don't need the tools. I think that's unattainable to think. The tools are there. It's for us to have that willingness and that mindset to go, okay, hang on. What parts am I playing that's making this worse, right? Or what do I need to bring some better energy in? Or what's missing in my life? Right? Being able to reflect and to bring your awareness to it, then you can go, well, how can I give that to myself? There may be this restriction and that restriction. Well, let me get clever and let me find how I can bring some of that energy to myself so that I'm having a better experience. Okay? Oh, thank you so much, Paula. I love that. Thank you. I am happy to come here every week, and I am happy that it's back on Sundays. And I'm happy that you guys continue to show up. We are getting close. I had to double check it because every time I come on here, I'm unprepared and I don't realize how long it has been. But this April, it will be 10 years of me every Sunday or Monday for a little bit coming on and doing weekly guidance. Like, that blows my mind. That blows my mind that we are creeping up to that 10-year mark of the weekly guidance. Just crazy. And I appreciate every single one of you, whether you've been here for the full 10 years or you just recently found me. You showing up helps me show up, helps keep me accountable. Happy to come here and share energy and messages with you. Share it with your friends and families. Make sure that if you're enjoying this content and you know someone that you love that would enjoy this content as well, sharing my name, sharing the word is like how we grow and how we stay together, right? Which I know 10 years, Paula, crazy. It is wild. It is wild. April 1st, 2016 is when I start my Facebook page. Like, crazy. I cannot believe it. How do you handle the nervous feelings of uncertainty? You have to ground it. Now, that uncertainty energy has been coming up. a lot lately. So that got really ruffled up with that full moon. So the best thing that you can do is do grounding. Make sure you're anchoring yourself. Bubble up, shield your energy. But also, I am safe. I am okay. I am where I need to be. Divine timing is always working for me. I'm right on time. Because a lot of the time, the uncertainty is telling us you're going to miss it. You're falling behind. You're not going to miss your, you know what I mean? It's telling you all these lies when in truth, you are exactly where you need to be. Exactly experiencing what you need to experience, right? And so everything is in perfect divine timing. We're in a rush. We're in a rush. We want everything right away. Oftentimes, at least for me, I look back at my life and I'm like, thank God you didn't give it to me right away. I would have messed that up so bad. Like I remember, you know, it took me 3 years from intentionally trying to teach myself about my intuition to having this Facebook page. And I remember being like, just let me do it. Like, just let me get out of my head. Just let me believe in this. Just, you know, and I think, oh my God, if they were like, yeah, okay, flip the switch. Now you're a psychic medium and all as well. I would not have lasted 10 years. I needed that to build the foundation, right? And so I know that without a doubt that had to be a slow, painful process for me because it gave me the foundation that I needed, right? And so you have to, if things aren't moving fast enough, go, I'm bricklaying. I'm just building a foundation so that when I have my big blessing, when I receive, because you will, it's just a matter of time, it is going to be forever. It's going to have longevity because look at this awesome foundation that I'm building. I think that is so important. Oh, thank you, Leanne. Listen, I love the daily cards. The daily cards are just as much as part of my practice as it is for you guys reading it, right? I'm like putting on my coffee, gonna like doing my daily card, getting myself in gear, getting my divine team in before, you know, the morning hustle happens. So I'm just so grateful that after the last 10 years, you guys are still showing up and appreciating the messages that come through and still finding me and loving me and supporting me. I just love you guys so much. I just appreciate you guys so much. So thank you, because you guys, you know, I can't do what I love most if it wasn't for you guys. So I appreciate you guys so much. All right. You guys have a wonderful week. Yay. You guys have a wonderful week. And I will see you next Sunday. Take care, everyone. Get those positive words going. Start your day with some words of love to yourself. And make sure when you are listing your gratitudes, you list yourself. You're grateful for yourself. You didn't give up. You're still showing up. You're doing your best. Be proud. Have a great week.